Hello you lovely people and welcome. In this video I'll be doing a navigation demo using VOR, NDB and also ILS landing in the VrilleAPLAT T-37 Tweet. The area I've chosen for our navigation exercise is RAF Cranwell. Cranwell being a good place mainly because it's our RAF college for pilots who go on to squadron life, and also there are a good number of navigation aids around the airfield. Our VOR will be at Gamston, so it's a bit of a trek, but that's our closest VOR. Go down and we have Tacan that we can use for navigation. We also have NDB for our ADF, and also Cranwell has ILS. So all in all, a good area to practice. So what I'll do is jump into the cockpit. We'll firstly do the NDB, mainly because it's basically on the station. Then we'll do VOR, Tacan, and then ILS. So let's jump in the cockpit. Right, okay, so our first exercise is the NDB. So for the ADF, the radio magnetic indicator, or RMI, acts as the ADF, and to tune the ADF in we need to turn the radio, the UHF radio knob to ADF, which has a section at the back there. So if we rotate that all the way, you'll see that the comms frequency knobs change to ADF. So what we can do, get in the air. I'm not going to tune anything in just yet, so take the parking brake off, toe brakes on, throttle all the way up, make sure flaps are down one notch, landing lights are on, brakes off. Okay, 100 knots, rotate, and we're up. Gear up. Feet, flaps up, start trimming out because the nose will dip, get to a nice safe altitude, get to about 1,000 feet, we'll settle, we'll switch on, we'll tune in our NDB and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we're around about 1,000 feet now. Throttle back, trim out. Okay, so we need to tune in our frequency for the NDB, and that is 423.00. So 423.00. As you can see, our RMI has now showing the direction of the NDB, which is directly behind us, which makes sense as we've just taken off from Cranwell. So if we bank to the left, we're going to follow that arrow over the NDB, or non-directional beacon if you aren't familiar with the NDB phraseology. 2,000 feet nearly. You need to remember that this aircraft is fully hands-on, a proper pilot's aircraft, no autopilot, no fly-by-wire, all hands-on. So there we go, we've got Cranwell in front of us, we're heading towards the beacon now, it's right on our nose. Once we go over the top of it, the pointer will swing, letting us know that we've gone over the top. altitude down. I want to stay around about 1,000 feet ideally. Okay, trim out now. Okay, you can see that the bearing needle is now swinging and we're over the top. So that's navigating NDBs using the ADF for navigation. Okay, and as I said, it's behind us. Head back again. I could probably find the spot where the NDB is situated. There it is over there. Okay. So that's the navigation using ADF and NDB frequencies. So next we need to move on to VOR. Okay, so moving on to VOR, we need to make sure our navigation radio is switched on, so we need to switch that to DME, which is 2 clicks to the right. Next we need to tune into Gamston, which is 112.800. Okay, so you can see we're tuned into Gamston. It's 12.4 nautical miles away. Localizer needle has swung to the left. Apparently we're closing at -2 knots. Doesn't make any sense. So for this there are 2 explanations that I need to put across using this digital readout. Page 1, which is this one here, that tells us the closing speed and gives us the bearing of the VOR from where we are. So if I turn to my right and get that to 000, that means the VOR beacon is on the nose. Okay, so overcooked it slightly there, but you'll see that the DME is now counting down because we are bang on. Now if we click on page 2, this gives us the bearing of where we are in comparison to the VOR itself. Now to explain that, I've done an image that I will go on to now to explain that. Now to show this, I have placed a bearing compass over the top of the Gamston VOR here in the map in MSFS, and my only comparison that I can make it to is a bullseye. And if you're not familiar with that, a bullseye is used in the airspace above a battlefield. It shows the focal point, the focal point where everything is happening from, and usually you'll get a call out from a ground controller or an AWACS that tells you something's approaching bullseye 125, so go 912, so be heading from this direction towards the bullseye center. Now I can only compare the page 2 readout to this. It shows 154, so that is the that is where I am in comparison to the center of this VOR, and that's what the call out gives you. I hope that's clear, but we'll get back into the cockpit. Okay, so now that that's been explained, we'll change that back over to page 1, and that will tell us that the VOR is slightly to the right, keeping that on the nose. For some reason we don't get an indicator like we would in a normal light aircraft, where the ILS or VOR gauge would tell us to turn to the left slightly, turn to the right slightly to get us on track. It seems to all be done via this digital readout. Okay, so we need to turn to the left slightly, and I've overdone that slightly again, keeping the altitude low because there seems to be a conflict with the MAR and VOR. If you get over to a certain point, it doesn't matter what frequency you're tuned into, it seems to go on to MAR and VOR, which is not helpful in the slightest. So keeping that low. Still got another 4.5 nautical miles to go. We'd even normally in say a Cessna 152, in the VOR gauge we'd get a little arrow to tell us if we're going towards the VOR, or an arrow pyramid pointing down telling us we're going away from the VOR. Even that is missing from this. If I look at the gauges, none of them seem to align with where I am pointing the aircraft. It tells us that I'm on a heading of 330 degrees, but it's not giving us a proper bearing on any needle at all for Gamston, which is now on the nose, and the VOR is now veering to my right. Okay, and you'll see that swing all the way round until we get about a 180. There we go. The localizer indicator is now swinging. It would be nice if there was a course deviation indicator or something that sort of help inside the cockpit there, but navigating in this has been a bit of a headache for me because I've not really worked out how to do it properly until recently. So if I turn so that reads all 3 zeros again, you'll see Gamston will be on my nose, and we'll head towards that again. Okay, we'll level out. Gamston is just down there. The VOR is literally just down there. As you can see, just down here, it will pass over the top of it, and now there's Gamston VOR. Okay. Get that right on our tail at 180 degrees. We're now flying directly away from it. And while that stays 180, I know that I'm pretty much heading back towards Cranwell. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you how to use a Tacan. It's not great in this aircraft, it doesn't give you much of a bearing indicator, but we'll tune it in anyway. We'll use this part of the nav radio, so we're going to tune into 121 X-ray. Okay, so we're tuned in, we're 6.2 nautical miles away. CWZ is the Morse for the Tacan. Page 1 doesn't give us a bearing or a closing speed. If we go on to page 2, it gives us the bearing of us in relation to the beacon itself. It says that it's going to take us 99 minutes to get there. Okay. So basically all we can do is turn until we get onto our target and the DME starts winding down to 7.7 nautical miles. I can see Cranwell in front of us there. I think that's Cranwell. It's either Cranwell or Barkston Heath. Judging by the way the distance is winding down, that's Cranwell. Too high, we'll end up getting Marham. Okay, no, that is Barkston Heath, so see what I mean? We need to turn to the left. There's Cranwell over there. Not a very good form of navigation this, because we don't get any bearing help at all. Anyone who knows how to use this properly, if I'm not using it properly, please leave a message in the description, because I would love to know how to use a Tacan in this, or if it even had a Tacan receiver. Be interesting to know. Keep it 500 feet, that way we won't get any interference from Marham. I mean, we don't even get any steering cues from the localizer, which is a bit odd. Would be nice to have that. Okay, and there we go, we're basically over the top of the Tacan now. Guess it must be on the tower, there and thereabouts. So yeah, that's using the Tacan in the Tweet. Now the last bit is ILS. Okay, so we've come to our last part of the video, which is ILS. Unfortunately, I've had to come across the pond to the USA, Columbus Air Force Base, because every time I tried to tune to an ILS over the UK, I got Marham. I don't know if it's an issue with the aircraft or what, but I'm going to have to look into that. So, we're currently tracking the VOR TAC at Columbus. We're about 13 nautical miles out. The Air Force Base is just off my nose. And we're going to tune into the ILS. So the frequency is 108,700. So, 108 700. Okay, so the glide slope and localizer have come to life. Got nothing on the digital readout, but I can see that the runway runs off to my right, so I'm going to make a line up for it. I know this is cheating slightly because I'm using VFR, but I'm still not comfortable flying this aircraft in fog or anything like that, and trusting the instruments. So we're going to go for the central runway at Columbus. Start slowing down now and getting the gear down, flaps down, landing lights up, no, down, sorry. Okay, and we're going to start making our turn in. We may get a readout, but we've got our localizer indicator letting us know that we are either off or online. Turning on now. I seem to be above the glide slope, below the glide slope, sorry. Getting everything in reverse at the moment. See if we can stay on that glide slope all the way in. Like I said earlier, it's a pilot's aircraft. There's no automatic landing function in the Tweet. It's all done by Mark 1 eyeball and hand. There we go. We are pretty much bang on. See if we can stay on that glide slope. A 1,000 feet per minute should do it, I think. Sorry about this silence, I'm just concentrating on the instruments at the moment. So I come to the end of my navigation demo of the T-37B Tweet. I hope it's made some sense. I've tried to explain the best I can to my ability, which to be fair isn't great. But hopefully you've grasped something from that, and hopefully there'll be more to come with the updating of the aircraft, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, like I said, come to the end of the video now, so got this far, thank you very much, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.